Hello, this is Joe from MOMFIT with Joe Peters. Welcome to the Spanglish Network and the H.E.R Network at Singo TV channels 250 and 251. Please remember to download both the Singo TV respective app stores in iOS and Android devices. While you are downloading, make sure to rate and leave a comment. The app is free. Singo TV is also available in Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire, and Fire TV sticks, Roku and Roku sticks in all smart TVs since 2016. Welcome to MOMFIT. Today, we are having a wonderful guest, and I'm super excited to jump into the discussion with her because with the title of the what we're doing is uh, double the trouble, double the luck, and then she is the mom of two beautiful twins. And I know that for some of us as new moms, that could be a scary news. If we just find out that we are pregnant and then finally we have twins, how we are going to do that? Or even if that is not your first child. So Vassie is actually the self-love medium, and she's a wellness coach and a certified WildFit coach. She's all about healthy lifestyle solutions and real food. She's passionate about people, their inner world, and their well-being. Vasi focuses on reconnecting with you and your inner self so you can regain self-love through living mindfully. I am so happy to have you here, Vasi, with us. Welcome, and let's share a little bit with the audience, a little bit more about who you are, and we will start from there.
Hello, hi Joe. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me, and I'm very excited because it's actually the first time that I'm sharing my experience about twins. I mean, I've been invited for other topics, but the twins, which are my specialization in a way, it's something new. So I'm very happy to be here. And yeah, what can I say? As people say, something beautiful, but it's double trouble with the double luck. So it's really great fun, and it's really nice to have them. But it's also a challenge. Like, yeah, if two or one, it's actually at the end manageable, and it's absolutely all right. Everything is going well then at the end, but in the beginning you are stressed, of course. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. And what I would like to do is I would like to walk through the story of how you handle the twins from the moment that you find out that they were going to be twins. Like, how was that surprise? How that changed your pregnancy? How that changed how you were moving and behaving? And then after that, the birth. How was the birth of having twins? And then the early years. And then we will start a little bit with how motherhood is a marathon. So now, even after 13 years, you are still having some of those challenges of having twin girls. So why we don't start with, tell us a little bit about when you find out that you were going to be a mom of twins.
Yeah, this was a big surprise. Although I somehow always wish myself twins. It was like I somehow knew. I mean, I said I'm self-love medium, and this started in my childhood that I was able to see and feel things about other people. About myself is different. I couldn't, but it was like a feeling inside that or wish, even as I was, 19 years old girl, and I was saying, oh, would it be nice to have twins, and would it be nice, and would it be great, and so on. So I was always going and asking to touch or to say hello to twins, because in some countries they believe that if you touch twins, you can get twins, but this is like something else. When I learned that I was pregnant with twins, I was extremely happy. For me, it was not stressful. I didn't even think a second. It might be difficult, it might be challenging. I was just happy. Of course, it was. Oh, sorry. I have. Everything is switched off, but obviously not. So I learned about this, and I called my husband and I said, you know, I'm pregnant. And he said, oh, great. And I said, with two. And he was, oh, actually, he was more the one who is shocked than me. I was extremely happy. And my pregnancy was just beautiful. It was so relaxed because actually I had a quite nice, a healthy lifestyle and healthy nutrition. So for me, it was I didn't have, but okay, this depends. Every a woman is different, so it depends. I was traveling. I was okay, trying to travel less by plane, of course, in the beginning. I worked actually until 3 days before my the deadline. It was actually not the deadline, but because I had cesarean, so it was 3 days before this date. I was celebrating with friends my birthday, and the twins they came 3 days later. So we have birthday on yeah, with 3 days difference. Um, the pregnancy was nice, but of course at the end I was huge. I was 95 kilograms. Oh my God. I don't know in pounds, but I was really huge. But because I'm tall, it didn't feel so bad. So the pregnancy was really nice. The big surprise was actually later
Okay.
because I think I
In
was underestimating a bit what I was saying.
on the pregnancy, one of the points that you touched that you know that I had a similar experience with my birth is about how important is to have the proper foods to actually have a healthy, easy pregnancy. And one of the things that I love that you said, because it was also my experience, is we hear all the time, and all the mamas out there, if you're hearing this, know that that is not the rule, and that doesn't have to be. Usually society say, oh, moms in the third trimester are miserable and don't have energy and need to be in the couch all the time and their legs are hurting. And the reality is that you could have a pregnancy like Vassie had or like I had, that we were working until the day before or a couple of days before our babies came. And part of that is really because of how we were taking care of our body. Because what we are being always sharing is our body is going to take priority on the babies or the baby. So if we are not very good nourished, the body is going to take from whatever it can the nutrients and the things that need for the babies to grow. And that is what make you feel tired. And that is what make you feel bad because you don't have enough of the good things for you and the baby. But like if you're doing like Vassie with a healthy lifestyle, with a healthy food, with a healthy eating, then you don't have to be tired, you don't have to be in pain, because guess what, your body had enough for you and the babies. So I love that you said that. It's going to talk a little bit before we go into birth and the surprise after. It's going to talk a little bit about movement and how, because the belly for twins is bigger than a regular belly. So what were some of the things that you noticed, some of the things that you did to create a little bit more of comfort, some of the things that you learned that will help with having two babies in your belly?
Yeah, it's I went to a special course which they organized for babies, but I don't think that I really did something special. It was more the healthy lifestyle, and I went for a walk. I didn't really do yoga or something else because, to be honest, my job was so busy that I was really like they were joking. You know, in the past, the women they were working on the field, you know, until they give birth. So I was almost like this, and at the end, because you know I couldn't really travel anymore the last weeks, and I had to prepare work on a new budgets for my employer, and then my boss came to my place to visit me to make the budgets together. So it was really I was enjoying. I was just working on the field like the old women in the past, but yeah, that's I think it's also if you're healthy, and I was 39. I was not you know, spring chicken, so you would expect that I would have problems. No, I didn't. I was just I was so happy. I think in my case, maybe a part of the fact that I was healthy, I'm healthy and so on, it was my mindset, because I was just so happy, and these pregnancy hormones were really sparkling all over the place, and nothing could really bother me. Yeah. But yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not the right one to give to give
But
any.
then you touch on two beautiful points that I agree, and there's some of the things that we talk on MOMFIT with the body, the mind, and the emotions, and that is also a very good point. And it's like you, myself too, is not only the physical body, but how emotionally and mentally we handle the pregnancy. If we have a pregnancy that is super stressed, if we are crying all the time, if we have a lot of drama in our life, if we are upset, all that will also affect how the pregnancy goes. I remember when I got pregnant, I actually decided that. I remember, I don't know if you ever saw this movie, but there is a movie that is called The Traveler's Wife. And a little bit, did you saw that movie? So The
No.
Traveler's Wife is the husband, the dad is a time traveler. And they start getting trouble having babies because when they get pregnant, the baby time travel too. And then as a fetus, it will not come back. And I remember that on a scene where the mom says like, I am pregnant and we are going to have the most peaceful, happy pregnancy in the world. I'm not going to argue, I'm not going to do anything because this baby needs to be calm so it doesn't time travel. And I remember thinking the same for my pregnancy, and I was like, I'm going to make sure that I have the most calm, happy pregnancy. And the reality is that, like you said, it happened, and it was a good. And the other point that I want all the mamas hearing us to listen very careful what Vassie said. She just said like nothing, but she was like, "Oh, I was 39 and I have a healthy pregnancy," and I want you to know that it is possible. Vassie is not the exception; she is the proof. Like I was pregnant when I was 37. Um, Vassie was pregnant when she was 39. It is possible. What the social media and the society pushing to, oh, if you are over 34, then you are on risk. You are going to have a risk pregnancy. You are going to have danger being pregnant. Doesn't have to be true. Of course, if you don't take care of yourself, of course, if you don't eat the right foods, of course, if you are overweighted and had high blood pressure and diabetes, and you are 39 and want to get pregnant, the risk go back up. But if you take care of your health and your body, then even at 37 or 39, you have a beautiful, beautiful pregnancy. So thank you for sharing that, Vassie.
Exactly, and you are absolutely right, because I also see a lot of my clients. There are so many, unfortunately, there are so many young girls with 20 something or 30, which who have problems with pregnancy, and this is all about health. It's not so much about age, because in the past history of our human evolution, revolution too, so women used to give birth also late. They got many kids through the years. So um, it's not something that it's very strange for our body and something new. But if you're not healthy, you could have problems, um, or a really hard pregnancy, whatever age you are. So I think it's more about what you do for your health. Yeah.
Before we go into birth, because that is when it start going interesting for our story, why you don't give, if you can, if you have a mom that is mom of twins that is pregnant, that she just find out that she is going to have twins, what are one or two tips or advices that you can give her for her to enjoy her twin pregnancy at the maximum?
I think I can also only repeat myself, because just let this happiness feeling be, let it be. And if you have a job, just do it, because it's like as far as you are in your routine every day, so this is nothing new for you. So it's like you feel like something is growing in yourself, and this is giving you so much energy and positive thinking. But otherwise, I don't think you should do too many things. At least I was not. I was actually too busy to do many things. I was just too busy, and I was managing different markets and different countries. And actually, then I switched from the job, from the management of clients and events and different activities. I switched step by step in managing preparation for the kid or pregnancy details and so on. But when you're new, yeah, you shouldn't be in a hurry. I could only say this: no hurry, no pressure. Everything will be fine.
And that is one of the times that will be great for all of you mamas to to practice the breathing that we were talking a couple of episodes ago. The you breathe with you, so you can actually remove that pressure and that rush. Okay, Vassie, let's gonna keep talking about the story and what came up after. So now it's time to give birth to the twins. Let's gonna talk a little bit about that on the first weeks of the babies.
Yeah, the first weeks are were really challenging because I had, as I said, very healthy pregnancy, but the twins they turned the last minute, and it was very dangerous. One was with the head, and one was with the bottom. So that's why we planned this cesarean, and I didn't really, yeah, I was not worried about this because I had good clinic and everything. But when they were born, as they were born, I was like, wow, I actually underestimated. So what I'm going to do with them? Because when you have a cesarean, most in many cases, unfortunately, the mamas they have cesarean, they don't get the milk immediately. So that was a huge the worst issue for me as a young mom because it's not a natural process. So it comes later. The milk comes not immediately, at least with me. And I was totally panicking because I wanted to breastfeed my babies and to give them the best what I can. And my husband, he has a lot of, or he has a history of a lot of allergies from childhood. So I was like panic because I didn't have any, and so I was panicking. No, no, I have to give the best food for them. And then I can only advise. I can say it's really when you don't know what to do, ask for help. It sounds so simple, but many mamas they just or whatever situation you are just stressed and you think you should know it, but you don't know it, and you just go for seek for help. And unfortunately, I had a really great. Midwife, I think he said, yeah, midwife. So she was so patient with me, and yeah, then everything was all right later on, but I really needed a lot of time until everything got well. I was just yeah, double double trouble with the milk because was not enough. I was I'm tall and everything, but somehow was not enough for two. So I was really writing. I somewhere even saw the journal that I was doing, how much I gave them, how many milliliters. It was crazy because I think if you have one child, I don't think you should really go and follow the strict advice every 2 hours or every 3 hours. You just breastfeed your child maybe whenever it wants or it feels like. But then I realized that I was stressed because I was following really everything what the midwife was telling me, and this made me really more tense. If I now do it for a second time, I would more go on my feeling and I would be more courageous to do this. But of course, when you're a young mother, you don't really believe in all these things in yourself. Maybe you want to do the best, and then you follow the advices. But I was too strict. I was really too strict. But everything was good at the end. Yeah.
And that is a great point that I want to point out, because that is other thing that society doesn't mention that often, and it's more common than not that our meal come late after we give birth. Because for Vassie, with C-sections, normally it is, because when it is C-section, it's almost like the body was not ready, was not sending the messages to start producing the milk. So you did it like
Yeah.
almost too soon. And I did, my baby was born naturally, and my milk didn't came in early either. So one of the messages that I love that Vassie share is for all of us how we can be prepared. This is something that I told you all the time with having your tribe and having your team is don't wait until like Vassie or me face the issue. Oh my gosh, I'm not having enough milk. Now I have to stress because my baby is crying or is not gaining weight. Know that these things could happen, and while you are pregnant, prepare for it and say, okay, I'm gonna hope for the best. Like there is a phrase in Colombia that say, let's gonna hope for the best but be prepared for the worst. So I'm gonna hope that my milk come in and I can breastfeed with a problem. And if my milk come late, what are some of the things that I can know since now that I can do? For example, one of the things that, and I want to hear from you if you have to supplement as well the twins, but one of the things that we did for baby E was finding the best quality formula to supplement. And I know that now in the US there is a huge issue with shortage of formula, and a lot of mamas are struggling and being very stressed. And our heart and our love goes to you because I cannot imagine what would be more stressful than you not finding the food that your baby needs. And one of the things that we found with the formula was that goat milk formula is actually closer to your or our own milk. So if you ever need to look for formula early on, we invite you to actually research a little bit about goat milk formula because the composition is a lot closer. If you're choosing to do cow milk, then how you can actually Vassie is from Germany, is right now in Frankfurt. One of the best cow formulas is from Germany, from grass-fed cows. So it is, if you have that, all those things figured out when you're pregnant, then you don't have a much that stress. I will tell you, one of the mamas that are working with me right now in the coaching program, she's doing that. She's on week 30, and then she start order a couple of samples of goat milk and then the German milk from Germany, just to have in case if she start breastfeeding without a problem, awesome. But if not, then she doesn't have the stress of figuring out everything else. So I want to tell you, Vasi, when that happened, when the meal didn't came, what happened with the twins? Because I cannot imagine if I was stressed with one baby crying, like I cannot imagine how was your situation with the two girls um, trying to nurse without the milk.
Yeah, it's. I didn't know much about these issues there because I thought I would have milk, so I didn't really. I was not so prepared, but at least I tried to organize organic origin first of all, and I know I didn't know it. I learned about this later, but they were also saying about. The female horse, the horse milk. So what they say, it's also good. And they, in organic shops in Germany, they sell packages of frozen milk from a horse, and it's this. I hear later. I've heard later that should be also very good, but we never tried. No, I was not panicking. I just got organized, and I was feeding the um, uh, feeding the kids additionally with this organic brand. So in every country you can find one. I wished it would be different, only mine, and I also wished in Germany it wouldn't be so complicated to have milk from other mamas. I know in other countries it's maybe easier or you can organize, but for me it would have been better to have a human milk than other animal milk, yeah, for even for the babies. So it's
And that is another great point that you touch on. Actually, that is one thing that we invite all of you mamas to talk about if you are preparing to give birth. Because, for example, for me it was the same. I would prefer that, but my husband was very scared of donor's milk. So that is another thing that you need to discuss and get an agreement with your partner before the time comes. But it's funny what you are saying about Germany not being very open into donor's milk, because now in the US, with the shortage of formula, we are going back sometimes into like those times that we have wet nurses, that are like wet nurses were people that were paid to just feed your baby. Now they are not paying them, but now because so many mamas are desperate because they are not finding the formula, they are having friends and other mamas saying, bring me your child, I will feed him, or I will pump additionally and give you some from my milk. So I think that that was a beautiful addition that you said, that that is another option. Is you can have the formulas, you can have donor's milk, you can have a friend that love you enough that had a child at the same time to maybe pump a little extra for your baby. And I think that the most critical part here that you are saying so well, Basi, is there is always options, and that is matter of us finding the option that works for us as mamas in that moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
what moving forward? So now the first challenge was pregnancy was great. The first challenge was breastfeeding the babies. Then what was next? What happened in that journey of being a mom of
The
twins?
next challenge was, thanks God, the human brain is constructed like this, that you don't keep this, you just discard this. But for me, I really struggled with my hormones, with baby blues, or so-called. And I was not aware of this. I was not aware of this, and everyone was telling me, because my mom came to help me a bit. My sister was for a while, because they live in another country. And again, here, this wonderful lady, the midwife, she came to our place, and she just told the other ones, she told the family, don't listen to her, don't take her seriously. And I was saying, why? I'm not bad. But obviously, I don't know, maybe I was treating them not so well. I don't know. The thing is that when you have it, you don't realize it. Yeah, you don't realize it. You just feel overwhelmed, and um, I don't know. It was like, instead of being happy, I was just sad, and I didn't know where this all of a sudden came from. And then, as I heard her words, and she said, "You have this, so don't worry." So I didn't really do something special. It took some time to go away, but, or at least I don't remember how it was. But it was more difficult for the others than for. I was not, as I said, I didn't really realize that I I was not a happy person on the way I was acting. And but then it took some time, and everything was fine, and I got into routine. And one baby was sleeping very well, the other one was not sleeping. Then they were first in one bed, then I had to separate them in different rooms, because they were waking up. The one was crying, waking up the other one. So it was a bit of logistics. My husband went sleeping somewhere else in another room. So yeah, it was a bit stressful. But now, from like 11 years ago, it was just nice. It was really beautiful. And when you have the babies, or a baby, you think it's, if you take it too seriously, then it doesn't help, because it's just, again, just have the courage, be brave to feel with your heart, and relax and say, well, I believe in my nature. I'm a woman, and it will be fine. I'll be fine. Whatever I do, it will be fine. Yeah. And this I was not able to tell me, because I was to tell myself, but I could tell it now to other women, because when you're a new mom, you are really stressed, and you are worried if you do things right, and then you very often exaggerate with many things. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that one of our previous guests said something brilliant, and she said that we should have some of those colors that give you shocks every time that we think about being a perfect mom. She said, like, those two words should never be able to get together, because I think that that is that pressure that we put of as a new mom. We want to do everything perfect, we want to do everything best, and then sometimes we put extra pressure and weight in ourselves. But one thing that you touched very slightly, and I want you to go deep into this. I want to go deep into the blues and the depression, because that's a very important topic, especially for twin moms. But then also, before we go there, I want to go into the sleep, because I want you to explain a little better what you mean when one baby was sleeping good and one baby was not, and why that is important. Because I want you to hear me, mamas. They were twins. They were twins. They live in the same house. They have the same mom. They were treated exactly the same. And even them, they have completely different sleep patterns. Why that is important? Because sometimes, especially when we have only one baby, we start comparing our baby to our friend's baby. Oh, that baby's sleeping good. What is wrong with my baby? Why my baby cannot sleep? And then that nugget of wisdom of Vassie, I think that is paying thousands of dollars, because insanity. Because next time that you start thinking, oh, what is wrong with my baby that doesn't sleep as well as my cousins or my friend, then I want you to remember Vassie and say, wow, if twins that are in the same house at the same time, treated the same, had the same routine, as feed the same, everything is the same, and even then they have different sleep patterns, that shows and prove that sleep is not something that you as a mom can alterate much. It's like there's part of their personality, and there are some personalities that are good sleepers and some personalities that wake up a lot more. So thank you so much for that, Basi. That is huge.
Yeah,
And
and
because
also that this could really change after they become a certain age. Like with us, in our case, this switched with 1 year. The baby who was sleeping started waking up and needed me more, and the one who was taking more of my attention, she just is been sleeping like that till now. It's really has such a deep sleep, so it doesn't mean anything. So it's. Just we go through, and my tip is also for later, because when they're babies, of course we are with them all the time and we give a lot from us, but when they go to the age where, like, 2 years or a bit older, um, I know many parents, they try to, in a way, train their kids to sleep by them, fall asleep by themselves, or they just leave them in the bed with a bottle or something like this, or they just feed them. I mean, I don't talk about very young baby age. I talk about a bit later. But what I learned also from midwife, who was a really very smart woman, she was already before retirement. She said. I don't even remember. You might know better, that she said, I think after the ninth or the ninth month, the baby is not crying during night for food. She said to me, they need you, they need a hug, they need your attention. And it's not good to feed the baby, or even to, I mean, you could give water, but like there are countries I know, and especially my country where I come, they give water all the night. And then they wonder later, when the kids are older, they wake up all the time and want water, and they don't sleep. So I think it's when you feed the baby or the kid um, properly on dinner or before they sleep, they should be fine with food during the night later on. Yeah. So this is my tip for mamas who think that they should calm the child with food or with a drink. It's what they need is a hug or a kiss, or maybe they miss you if you don't sleep in the same room from some age. Then they really need to be close to you.
connection.
So
And I agree with you, and I think that I'm gonna have soon guests that will talk about sleep training, because I agree with you, and that is what I do with my baby. Actually, we still nurse to sleep every night, and when he woke up in the night, I nurse him and I feed him, not because I think that he's starving, but because I know that babies nurse for so many other reasons. They don't only nurse for hunger, they also nurse for thirst. They nurse because they are scared. Like that is one of the most comforting things that they could do. And what you say is completely right. Like they need you, they need to feel safe. So I agree that early on I keep attacking that. Actually, I was talking about this week on people saying, "Well, if you don't sleep train him, he will never learn how to sleep." But then the reality is, I never saw a kid in college or in high school that had to sleep with their mama because they never learned how to sleep. Right? It's just well, like you were saying, when they start maturing their brain and developing enough that they don't need you, then they will stop asking for you. So I agree with you. That is one of the of my positions on gentle parenting and positive parenting. Our choice to respond to our baby's needs and say, yeah, it's going to be hard. Yeah, it's going to be hard. And it's for everybody. No, if you choose as a mom to not do it, that is respectful. What I choose to do is I choose to respond to my baby's needs overnight, as well as you learning and knowing that if he's crying, he may wake up after a nightmare and he's scared, or he woke up and it's dark. And last time that he fall asleep was with me, so now he's wondering where I am. So thank you for that tip. I love what you said
Yeah.
there. And let's gonna talk. I don't know if you remember good, but when you were saying that one of the twins was sleeping very good and one of the other is was not sleeping, what do you mean? How much time the one that was sleeping good was sleeping, and how much time the one that was not sleeping good was sleeping?
Before to answer, I'm laughing because it was like yeah, I will answer your question, but before that, I just want to make a comment. Maybe I jumped a bit more in the other age. Of course, when you breastfeed the baby, you breastfeed during night and often, but when after a certain age, it's not about this anymore. That the body of the baby needs nutrition. It needs something else. This is what I wanted to say. But up to 1 year or 10 months, absolutely. And of course, if you breastfeed for 2 years, it's also a different thing. But I stopped. Breastfeeding on the 10 month because for me it was like I really wanted, but it was just not enough, and it was like they were getting impatient anymore, you know. And they wanted some more food, so it was like very temperament. The temper was very good, so they were like not happy that I didn't have enough milk. So, and back to your question, what does it mean? It means that you just one was just sleeping through, absolutely sleeping through the whole night. I mean, I'm not talking about the time when you breastfeed during the night every couple of hours or 2 hours. I'm talking about a bit later, but then the other twin, he was like just crying. I didn't count. He was just constantly. I was getting up.
Okay, so that because I want to ask you that question because and my baby is really upset, so I don't know if he's going to come uh right now. So yeah, he's coming. He was been crying for a little bit now. And this is Mama life. So
Yes.
what's
With
going
me, it
on?
was also in the beginning of the show was also double trouble in the other room because the girls are back from school, so it was some noise.
So one of the things now we're going to do the first fitting in the show. You want it? No, you don't want to eat. You just want mama. Okay, it's gonna stay here a little bit. So
Wow.
I was going to tell you about this about sleeping through the night because when people say sleeping through the night, people think that it's 12 hours, 13 hours, and actually medically sleeping through the night will mean that they sleep for more than 6 hours in uninterrupted. And that is another thing that I want to tell all of you mamas, like, yeah, there will be babies that sleep 10 hours, 12 hours, 13 hours, but a lot of times when people say that the babies are sleeping through the night is that their babies are sleeping 6 hours or more is what is considered to be sleeping through the night. So I remember that we have some mom, their baby was sleeping like 6 hours, And she was so frustrated because her baby was not sleeping through the night because nobody told her that. And then she was like, everybody else is sleeping through the night. And then when she started asking, she was like, oh, my baby's sleeping through the night too. Then, like, yeah, your baby's sleeping through the night. So it's important that we also, as you new moms start hearing, is start getting used to it, to ask questions deeper when you are hearing these behaviors from babies, like, oh, what that means, what sleeping through the night means, how long your baby sleep. Because if not, your own mind is going to start putting some limited and limits and assumptions of what should be. And then you may be having a little deeper, you may be being harder with yourself and your baby than what you should, for example, with that sleeping through the night. But now I want to talk a little bit about the baby blues, because you know that I also struggle with postpartum depression and postpartum anxiety. So I want you to share with us, when you were in the middle of that, how how was the relationship with the twins, and how that feeling impact the twins, or if didn't impact the twins, it was more like with your husband and your mom, or how was the behavior changing when you were facing some of these baby blues?
I wouldn't say that. I was not that like this with the twins, of course, because the twins were like more my life at the moment, like the most important thing. But it was more with the others, and like in between between the twins, between the moments or the time when I was spending time with them, because I felt that something was wrong, but I just said you do your best as a mom, and then the rest is like I didn't care. So this at least was my impression. But if there was, I mean, I guess they were feeling something too, but I couldn't say that they changed, their behavior changed somehow. It was more my to the outer world.
Okay. And I was asking you that because one of the other important things about this is, when we have mamas that had a partner, that had a spouse, or had a partner in the house, it's important that that you talk with the partner about it, because what Bas is saying is very normal. I will tell you my story, a little bit about my story too. But what Basi was saying is very normal, is that moms become completely into the baby's world, and then the people that suffer the issue more are the people around mom, and sometimes is the spouse or the partner. Actually, there is some research lately, I was reading, that there is a big movement around the world to create something that is called the 2-year commitment. And what that means is that mom and dad agree before the baby arrives that they will not talk about separation or divorce
Yeah.
till the baby is 2 years old. Of course, mamas, if you are in an unsafe environment, if you are being suffering violence, if you are being abused, this doesn't apply to you. You need to go to a safe place no matter where it is. I'm talking about a family that had a safe environment, good relationship, is being a healthy relationship, but then suddenly start having problems. And what they found out is the 2-year agreement came because they found out that there is so many couples that actually go into separation or divorce in those first 2 years, because they are so hard, because mama is with all these blues, because their relationship changed, because mama is trying to find out her new self, dad doesn't know how to fit in. And I think that is brilliant, because it's like, hey, you know what? It's almost like we are going to give ourselves a pause. Like, yeah, in these 2 years, we will have hard times, and maybe sometimes we will want to like kill each other. But we agree that we are going to give ourselves this time of grace to make sure, because as you know, our hormones start getting stable around month 18, so a year and a half. And
Yeah.
that makes sense, because then after a year and a half your hormones are starting to get stable. At 2 years, then you can start thinking, okay, Is this what just something that was related to all the changes of the first 2 years of the baby, or there is something that we actually need to do as a couple that is not working? So thank you so much for
Yeah.
sharing about that.
And also very important in whatever you experience, because there might be different things or problems, or as you said very well, the babies, all babies are different, and we try to meet other mamas and talk about this and exchange information, and then all the time, if you start all the time comparing, it's really not good. I mean, I don't say you should isolate yourself, but sometimes it's better to focus and just discuss other things more than only talk about this and how good your baby is or what is doing or not doing. And yeah, that's very important. And for me, but I don't know, every woman is different, because I was so busy with my professional life for so many years that for me it was something that I didn't have the feeling that I'm missing something, and the fact that I might not look well, it didn't bother me. So, and I was afraid that she came to visit us because I was breastfeeding. I had this huge breastfeeding, how they say, pillows for twins. It's like this. And I didn't care. Yeah. And she was saying, "Oh my God, I would never do it like all the time for the kids." And because as soon as you finish with one, you start with the others and then exchange. It's like all the time doing this. And I said, "Well, this is so natural. This is something very natural." And she said, "Well, you can, it's because he's a good friend of mine." She said, "Yeah, you can just try to go out and make your hair or whatever." And I said, "I know, you know me, but it's just now I don't really need it so much." Yeah. So
It's uh, mm, that's wonderful. Now, really quickly, before we end the show, what are some of those lessons that you have that you can share with other mamas about being a mom of a twin, and how you can balance having double the attention, double the trouble, and still figure out how to balance your life and your own self as a woman, being the mom of twins? So I'm going to talk a little bit about that.
yeah, I can only say, because I decided to give more time of my time to my twins, and I would like to really tell you, whatever you decide with your heart will be good for you. If you think that you need time, as I said, be brave, do it, just do it. Try to organize either your husband or some family or someone else, and do it, and don't feel guilty. If you don't feel doing something else, same, yeah. If other mamas are saying, "Oh, I went to do this and I did and this," so what? Yeah, see, this is you. This is you, and just stay with your feeling inside what is right for you, and then we'll be fine. So it's not a rocket science. I wished I could say something more, but it's as simple as that.
And I love that last advice, because you say it's not rocket science, and sometimes we try to make it rocket science. So sometimes we try to overcomplicate it and find these different tools. Sometimes it's just part of you listening to what is your heart is saying. And I also love how kind and graceful you were about, I choose to have time, and if you choose that that is not the right thing for you, it's fine. And
Yeah,
one of the beautiful things about that I've been working a lot lately, with my moms, is that issue about mom shaming for from other moms need to stop. And that we all need to be more like what you just did, and it's like my personal choice as a mom and as a woman does not imply that your choice is wrong. This is not a me
yeah,
versus you. This is not about I am right, you are wrong. This is about us as mamas coming together, supporting each other, and saying, hey, I want to support you, even if your choice of parenting is different than mine. Because it's different doesn't mean that mine is right. For example, if I choose to stay at home with my baby, I still want to support the mom that wants to go back office after the baby is only 4 weeks or 6 weeks because she needs working. That doesn't make her a bad mom. That just made her a different mom, and that is fine. So that, thank you for that beautiful insight, Vassie. Just to close up now, let's gonna talk a little bit about what they say of your opinion. There are a couple of things that they always say when with babies is, oh, time flies, you are going to miss this, and then how the life of being a mom of twins evolve as the twins are growing and now getting close to getting to their teenager years.
I would say that, especially if it's the very first child, I would really recommend you are not going to miss anything because time really flies and they grow. And then if you didn't enjoy the time with them, I mean, I wished I could have only one to really enjoy, because after having two babies at a time, you don't really, you're just very busy, but still was really nice. But if I have a third one, as one baby, I told myself, oh, I would be so relaxed. It would be so nice. It would be like a fairy tale, and it's not. It's not when it's the first child. So it doesn't matter if it's one or two. It's just a matter of. I think I don't say that we should give up everything, but I know my mother took three, I think she was working all her life, but she took about 3 years. It was possible at that time. She took 3 years. And for my sister, only 6 months. I have an older sister. And I see a difference. I see a difference in the child when a child spends sometimes. I don't say 3 years. I don't say you should give it, but you should spend quality time with the child, because mm, no, there is no one who can replace you, the family, and you. Because if you even have the great nanny, if it's not a family member, it's a different feeling. They cannot really love the child. So love is really the most important thing for the kids. You don't really need to entertainment just to love them. Just love them.
That's the most beautiful way to finish our episode today, and is you don't need a lot of things, you just need to love them. And that is something that I want all of you mamas that are listeners to write down and put it different places in your house. I just need to love my baby. I don't need to figure out the perfect sleep. I don't need to figure out the perfect napping. I don't need to figure out the perfect diapers or the perfect clothes. The only thing that I need to do is love my baby. And then if you love your baby, everything else will flow. So, Basi, thank you so much for joining us today and share a lot
My pleasure.
of your wisdom, because a lot of times mamas with twins get really concerned. And I hope that if you are a mama of a twin, that you see on Vasi an example of how easy and smooth can be if you approach it with the right mindset, with the time mindset of loving your babies, of enjoying the journey, and stop comparing yourself with others and actually embrace that what you want and what your heart desire for you and your baby is the right choice for you. My slogan, one of my slogan is, you are the perfect mom for your baby. Nobody else could be a better mom than you. So if you resonate with Bassie, connect with her, please go and visit her at kelsowell.com, KELSO or at kelso.well on Instagram and on Facebook. Basi, thank you so much for being here with us. Moms, this show can also be heard on the Spanglish Radio Network. Please check out www.spanglishworld.ca for all the new programming. Spanish World, watch it, hear it, and read it.
Thank you too. Thank you for having me. It was really nice talking to you.